And I had a great relationship. Like Billy Hines was like my father. He was almost like my father. You know what I mean?
And who's Billy Hines?
Billy, he owned Foresight.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
So
Frank Cornelius.
no, Frank was a producer. Frank did all of Frank did a lot of production there. Gigolo Tony, MC80E. He did a little bit on my album. But Frank mainly ran the studio, and he was very musical. Played any instrument in there. A lot of this, if you go back and if you listen to a lot of the Foresight shit back in the day, and you listen to the music, there's a lot of music in there. There's not a lot of sampling.
Keyboard shit.
He Frank played a lot of that stuff. He was really really talented. And ironically, the same thing. You know, the Foresight thing, the whole thing is what got me out of the music business. Because people think Get Retarded was my biggest song, but it wasn't. Hanky Panky sold, I had a song, Hanky Panky, that sold more than Get Retarded. It's on the same album, but it was to the white audience. So, I'm out on the road with Kuiper. I don't know if you ever heard of Kuiper. And Kuiper was signed to Atlantic. He had this record out called Tic Tac Toe. And I'm opening for Kuiper everywhere. And Kuiper's manager had just got him a deal with Atlantic. And he's coming to me. He's like, yo, man, what are you doing? What are we going to do with this Hanky Panky song? So now I'm in limbo because I left Foresight. I'm signed to Luke, but Luke shelved me.
We have 5 minutes on P2. Continue the story now.
So I don't know what the hell that meant.
Keep going.
But I get shelved with Foresight. I mean, yeah, I'm in limbo. Foresight sells my album to Luke. Luke shelves the album, but the number one song on the album is getting CHR play at the time.
But why is Luke shelving your album?
Because he's ass.
Okay.
There's no other. When Luke found out that Atlantic wanted Hanky Panky and they wanted to sign me, then Luke came at him with some astronomical figure, and it was one of those.
It wasn't feasible.
It was one of those. You have a 5-year contract with Luke. Sit the 5 years out, and we could either see what happens or change your name, and we'll put the record out as something else. With me, it was simple as I thought that Cooley and I were. I always thought Cooley and I were bigger than everybody else. Mm-hmm. And until this day, even when my kids listen to my music, they pull up all my shit on you. They pull all that shit up on YouTube.
And that's awesome. And
they pull up shit I ain't even put out.
But that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's
but
awesome.
I always thought that me and Cooley, we were on stage with a lot of stars.
I know.
That were big back then, and we were the only people from South Florida that were even allowed to open for people back then. And sometimes we were the headliners, depending on where we were. And I used to always try to make Cooley understand that, yo man, just because we're in Florida doesn't mean we're not Eric B. and Rakim. We're sharing the stage with them tonight, bro. Me, it's KJ and Cooley C, the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Salt and Pepper, and blah blah blah.
One of my best memories, and that's why I feel honored to be here in the presence of all you guys, all good artists and everything, is that I was in the 1980s. I was in the West Palm Beach Auditorium when you guys opened up at Run DMC.
Perfect example.
And that was spectacular. That was incredible. And back then, for us being a couple dumbasses that didn't know how to rap and just wanted to be like somebody else, you guys were our heroes back then.
And that's appreciated.
And I know you. I know you appreciate it. That's why I just wanted to tell you that. And that's no bullshit. That's no kissing ass. I'm telling you, that's real deal stuff.
Mhm.
You guys were our heroes.
I mean, it was big.
It wasn't big. It was huge.
You know, like I tried to tell Cooley, and we talk about it to this day. I was like, at one point, man, we were carrying all of Florida on our back.
Hmm. There was nobody else.
Everybody was looking at us.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we were the only ones rapping.
That's what I'm saying.
There was, I mean,
You couldn't think of other rap groups around that were doing
Not in the
anything.
South.
No, it wasn't.
when John Staller owned Phantasma, told me where we had a meeting, we were trying to get paid, trying to get paid to do the show. And John Stahl was like, look, as simple as this. My budget is blown. I cannot do West Palm without KG and Cooley C. That's what he said. And it wasn't an egotistical thing to me, but to me it told me, you know what, man? This is it. It's time to roll.